Welcome into the Dallas Cowboys Report. I am your host, Tom Downey. Let's take a look at some overreactions from Week 3 as the Dallas Cowboys blow out the Philadelphia Eagles. The big one that kind of goes beyond just the game itself, about starting Terence Steele over Lael Collins, because Collins has his off-the-field stuff. Terence Steele's played pretty damn well through the first couple games for the Dallas Cowboys. My take on this one, this is still an overreaction, at least for now. Let's see how Steele continues to play throughout the season. This is probably more of an after this year ends type of situation, but I do want to make this very clear. I have been very impressed with the play of Terence Steele so far this season. Now, the PFF pass grade is not very good. I'm not too concerned, upset about that. They've dinged him for some holds that they viewed should have been called but were not. Whatever. What is most important to me is, A, look at that run grade, 90.7. Now, I know part of this is likely because he's alongside Zach Martin. That makes things easier, blah, blah, blah. I get it. But Steele's allowed 4 pressures and 0 sacks. That pass grade is way too low for me. Overall on offense, he's still got a 74.9 on PFF. That is awesome production from a backup swing tackle that we did not trust, and the Cowboys were right about in the end. Meanwhile, there's the Lael Collins issues and trouble and situation. The NFL very clearly, folks, got sick and tired of Lael Collins' camp leaking all this stuff about how, they did this excuse and that excuse, and, the NFL was big and mean. Well, then the NFL put out their side of the story that Collins tried to bribe a testing official. And, oh, by the way, the NFL and the NFLPA, they agreed to a 2-game suspension. But Collins wanted to appeal, or his camp did, or somebody did for him, and they lost, and it got bumped back up to 5. As if you listen to Jane Slater when we first talked about Lael Collins 2 weeks ago, 100% on Lael were her words. There's a reason why I haven't been on the big mean NFL out to get Lael. He messed up here. And given how he's not been on the field last year and much of this year, and what you could save by cutting him now that his contract is not guaranteed because he got suspended, I think this could be a question to have a little bit more in depth next year. But if Terence Steele keeps playing well, he's going to make it tough for him to go back on the bench. So pick a starter for me. Type TS for Terence Steele or LC for Lael Collins. I still lean Collins if he's back and at his normal level of play, the guy we saw in 2019. That guy was on an island, a top 5 right tackle. Steele has still been getting some help, and that's okay. He is serviceable beyond that for you. I still lean LC, but I'm very curious how you guys vote here. TS for Terence Steele, LC for Lael Collins. All right, overreaction number 2. All right, Trevon Diggs for Defensive Player of the Year. This is not an overreaction. And you guys know that more often than not, I try to say, let's wait, let's not overreact, let's not panic. No. Diggs has been incredible this year. Trevon Diggs' season, his start, I can't recall a Cowboys corner ever, at least in terms of like me being able to remember it, having this level of start to a season. The play we have seen from Trevon Diggs is incredible. Against Philadelphia, he got targeted a decent amount, 50% completion rate, 47 yards. That was it. No touchdowns allowed. 1 INT, 2 more pass breakups. Folks, Diggs looks like not just a breakout second-year player, not just one of the best young corners in the NFL. Trevon Diggs is playing like an all-pro corner. And you got to be on a big team, a good team to get Defensive Player of the Year. It often goes to edges. I get that. Diggs keeps this up, he's going to be in this conversation. His coverage stats this year. He's been targeted 20 times, allowed 10 catches, 178 yards is a little bit high, but he's got 3 interceptions. One of them was a pick 6 and 3 more pass breakups. Diggs is tied for first in PFF's coverage-only grade among corners. He has been absolutely balling out this year. So I think the answer here is going to be lots of yeses, but I still want to get your votes in the comments section. Should Trevon Diggs be in the Defensive Player of the Year race? Type in Y for yes, he should, or N for no, you don't think he should, which I think it's going to be like 95% yeses, but get your votes in right now. Overreaction number 3. Hey, how about Dak for NFL MVP? There are a lot of things that you need in order to be at least inside the MVP conversation. You got to be a big name. You got to be on a good football team. You got to have either a great story that goes along or you have to exceed the expectations assigned to you entering the year. Dak Prescott checks off all of those boxes. So at least for now, even if I don't think he's the true favorite, this is not an overreaction. I do think Dak Prescott is inside the MVP mix. Now, players like Matthew Stafford, Kyler Murray, Tom Brady, Mahomes, those guys are also in it. So none of those players would be an overreaction as far as I'm concerned. Dak actually leads the NFL, folks, in completion percentage, 77.5. His pre-snap prowess has absolutely been on display. I think the days of Dak really being a great runner are almost gone at this point because he doesn't need to run. He's so efficient pre-snap at this point that he's able to adjust the offense as needed. The only way the Cowboys' offense has really been stopped so far, themselves and the officials. That's it. The MVP odds right now, via our sportsbook partner, BetUS, Matthew Stafford plus 600. I get that. Patrick Mahomes plus 700. Brady Allen plus 800, even though Josh Allen, by the way, he's had one good game so far this year. He torched Washington. And Kyler Murray plus 900. Dak Prescott, folks, is plus 1,200. That's some appealing odds if you like Dak Prescott. So I already put my money where my mouth is. Even Eagles fan producer Jeremy bet on Dak Prescott. Yeah, he did it. He signed up with BetUS too. So go put 10, 15 bucks down because if you head to chatsports.com/bet and use promo code Cowboys125, that will get you a 125% deposit bonus. 100 bucks in, you get an extra 125 as well. Put down 10 bucks on Dak to win MVP. Get a massive return, 120 back on top of that. So head over to chatsports.com/bet. Use promo code Cowboys125. Overreaction number 4. Is it time to panic and bench Tyler Biadasz and start McGovern at center? That's Connor McGovern. As I have done each week so far, give me the coward's way out on this one. I want to emphasize for now. I say for now because I don't think McGovern's had truly enough reps to emerge as the center. What might make the most sense, as far as I'm concerned, is to potentially set up the Cowboys and put maybe McGovern in after the bye week if Tyler Biadasz continues to struggle. There are some problems, though, right now with this Cowboys offensive line. Now, I want to talk about the 3 players that get so much hype, right? First off, Connor Williams, not a viable option at center. I think we saw that in the preseason. I don't want him out there. He's allowed 1 pressure all year. He got dinged for some BS holding calls in week 3. He's played very well. Williams is not one of your problems on the offensive line. Your issue right now, if being among the NFL's leaders in offense is really a major issue, is at center. Now, McGovern played 8 snaps. The Cowboys got him on the field in that kind of weird little fullback fun package, which I like. I think it's a good situation for McGovern going downhill against the linebacker. He's almost always going to win that situation. The real issue right now for Dallas is the play of Tyler Biadasz. He has not looked good. And I get there's a tough competition. Vita Vea, Javon Hargraves played great. Biadasz this year hasn't allowed a sack, which he was lucky, although he was dinged for the fumble that was taken down because he got bull rushed bad by Hargraves, so you could almost give him a sack there. 11 pressures, folks, is a massive, massive figure for any center. And I know that Tyler Biadasz is not Travis Frederick, and that's never really going to be the goal or the expectation or whatever for anyone at that level of play. That's an unrealistic goal. If you're an NFL player, you're not going to be as good as Travis Frederick. Travis Frederick in his worst year, his first year, allowed 24 total pressures. That was over a full season, folks. So Biadasz is almost halfway there through 3 games. The strength is not there at this point. So I would hope, as I think it was Brad Sham, I think he was the one who mentioned it, I hope that the Cowboys continue to give McGovern reps at center in practice because I'm not sold, unfortunately, on Tyler Biadasz. I'm not out all the way, but he hasn't earned it fully yet either. It's a very weird situation. The Cowboys brought in no competition for Biadasz, and then we're giving Williams reps at center. I don't think they've managed this situation very well. You don't need a Travis Frederick to help call out the protections. Dak is so good pre-snap, that's mostly being taken care of. You need someone to not get pushed back into Dak Prescott's lap. That has been a problem. His strength issues are worse than what Connor Williams had in his first year. So with that in mind, pick a center for me. Type TB for you're still liking Tyler Biadasz, you want him to be the guy, or CM for Connor McGovern. Remember, he did play center at Penn State at least a little bit. So we'll see how the Cowboys go from here, but get your votes in right now. If the Cowboys do make a change, you know we will break it down. We have videos every single day here on the Dallas Cowboys Report. So subscribe today for news, rumors, mailbags, watch parties, all that good stuff. Hit that big red button right now. Overreaction number 5, our last one here, is Dalton Schultz tight end 1. Guys, this is not an overreaction. I think it is clear in the usage, the role, and even the production so far. This is not an overreaction whatsoever. The numbers bear this out. Dalton Schultz has outsnapped Blake Jarwin, 155 to 120. The targets, the receptions, Dalton Schultz. The yards, even the average, which Jarwin has often beaten Schultz on in the past, Schultz has really emerged as a very talented young tight end. He's in a contract year, and he's playing like it's time for him to get a bag. So it's a good problem, quote-unquote, to have here between Schultz and Jarwin. Both players, I think, are good tight ends, but I think Dalton Schultz has earned that tight end. Even if it's tight end 1A designation, it's tight end 1 for Dalton Schultz. No disrespect to Blake Jarwin, but Schultz has earned that role so far.